They thought you'd wait forever, like a spare key they could reach for only when their favorite door slammed shut, like a light they could flick on when their world got too dark. You were the safety net, the just in case, the plan B, and they made sure you knew it without saying a word. They gave just enough to keep you hoping, but never enough to stay. They made you feel like a placeholder in your own story, and maybe for a while you believed that was all you were worth. But something changed. You stopped waiting. You stopped hoping they'd choose you. You stopped shrinking just to fit inside the small space they offered, and instead of asking why they treated you like an option, you made a choice of your own. You walked away quietly, completely, powerfully. And now, you're not the one waiting anymore. They are. And the worst part, you're not even looking back. They always knew you'd answer. No matter how long they disappeared, and no matter how many times they left you on red, you were the comfort zone they ran to when things didn't work out elsewhere. The listener when no one else cared. The consistent one in a world full of temporary people. But they never chose you, not really. They breadcrumbed you. Just enough attention to keep you close, just enough affection to keep your hope alive, but never enough commitment, never enough truth. It was a one-sided game, and they played it like they owned the board. You showed up with your whole heart, and they treated it like a backup plan, a maybe, a just in case. They liked the idea of you always being there, but not the responsibility of choosing you fully. So they kept you around, but never up front. They wanted the benefits of your presence without the cost of loyalty. They wanted your light, but never offered shade. And the saddest part, you gave them more chances than they deserved, because deep down you believed they'd eventually see your worth. But the truth is, they saw it all along. They just never planned to honor it. It didn't happen all at once. There wasn't some dramatic betrayal or sudden goodbye. It was quiet, like a slow unraveling. A message that didn't come. A conversation that felt one-sided. A moment when you realized they only reached out when they needed something. And you were always the giver. Always available. Always the one trying harder. You started to feel it in your chest. That ache of being treated like a second choice. You'd wait by the phone, hoping they'd care enough to check in. And when they finally did, you'd convince yourself it meant something. But slowly, the illusion cracked. You saw how they laughed with others while you sat in silence. You noticed how your absence never seemed to matter. You realized your love was being taken for granted, like background noise they thought would never stop playing. You stopped defending their behavior in your head. You stopped making excuses for the way they ignored your needs. And one day, you didn't feel sad anymore. You felt tired of begging for the bare minimum, tired of pretending the scraps they gave you were enough. That's when you knew it was time. You didn't slam the door. You didn't explode. You didn't curse their name or ask them to stay. No, your exit was silent, but it shook the ground beneath them because you chose yourself. You walked away from the waiting, from the inconsistency, from the false hope they dangled like a reward they never planned to give. And that choice, it was louder than anything you ever said. You stopped answering their empty check-ins, stopped feeding the cycle. You deleted the messages you used to reread late at night. You stopped hoping they'd become the person you believed they could be, because love doesn't live in confusion. Respect doesn't come with conditions, and real connection doesn't make you feel disposable. So you packed up your heart, your love, your loyalty, and gave it back to the only person who had truly earned it, you. They didn't see it coming. They thought you'd stay, like always. But this time, silence was your goodbye, and peace was your revenge. At first, they didn't notice. They assumed you'd be back. You always were, right? So when you went quiet, they thought it was just another pause, another moment for you to cool down before returning, like you always had before. But this time was different. The phone stayed silent. The messages they expected never came. The energy they once drained so casually, now out of reach. And slowly, it began to hit them. They scrolled through old chats, trying to remember when things started to shift. They played your voice in their head, replayed your kindness in moments when no one else was listening, but you weren't waiting anymore. You were gone, and not in anger, but in truth. You had simply outgrown the role they shoved you into, and now they were left staring at the empty space you used to fill. The backup was no longer waiting to be chosen, and for the first time, they felt the weight of losing you. They tried to replace you, tried to fill the space with noise, with distractions, with anyone who could match the energy you once gave so freely, but nothing fit. Because what you gave wasn't surface level. It wasn't temporary attention or empty affection. It was deep, consistent, rare. And that's the thing. They'll meet people who smile the same, laugh the same, maybe even say the same things. But the feeling, the warmth, the safety, it's gone. Because that came from you. And now it's gone with you. They reach out to others, hoping to feel something familiar, but it's all hollow. Their world feels colder, even surrounded by people. Their confidence, it's shaken because the person they thought would always be there finally stopped showing up. They created this emptiness. They built it with every moment. They treated you like an afterthought, and now they live inside it. Now the roles are reversed. They're the ones checking their phone, hoping for your name to light up. They watch your stories from fake accounts, wonder if you think about them, hope maybe, just maybe, you'll break the silence, but you don't, because you're not angry anymore. You're just uninterested. They used to have control, at least they thought they did. But what they never understood was this: the real power was never in their hands. It was always yours. You gave them access, you gave them presence, you gave them the chance to be chosen. And now you've taken it all back, and it's driving them mad. They can't stand that you're no longer affected, that their games don't work, that the person they once used like a backup is now unreachable. Now they are the ones in the background. They are the ones on standby. They are the option, not the priority. And it's eating them alive. You didn't just leave, you evolved. You became the version of yourself that no longer begs for love, no longer waits to be picked, no longer sacrifices peace for someone else's comfort. You stopped trying to fix what wasn't broken in you and started healing from what was broken in them. And now as they sit in their quiet regret, you've moved into a season of peace, a season where you love yourself so deeply that settling feels like betrayal. They made you their backup, so you made them your past. And the real punishment, they have to live knowing you were never second best. You were the blessing they didn't recognize. And now you're gone, not with a bang, not with revenge, but with silence that screams, you don't get another chance.